but some have ignored Rabbi Heschel's warning against the mire of indifference and what he called the dormant conscience. There have been some who have tried unsuccessfully to poison the health reform debate with fear and with hatred, with a seemingly conscious disregard for the harsh realities facing millions of Americans each day. I had one of those town hall meetings that you saw on television. I chose to have it in Cincinnati, the most Republican conservative part of the state, a part of the state that many of you don't even acknowledge is in the state. I don't think it's not mutual, though, I want to know. But when I had that town hall meeting, what I learned was we had 1,500 people there. 1,000 of them supported our efforts in healthcare. 500 opposed. 100 of the 500, frankly, weren't very polite. But understand that even in more conservative areas, people in this country do want us to pass a health care bill. People in this country do want to see a strong bill with a strong public option. And people in this country, the opponents to this are clearly, they're negative, they don't always tell the truth, but they're in a very distinct minority. That's so important to remember. Every day, a teacher, a factory worker, a single parent, or a student, a middle-aged couple will lose their health insurance. 400 Ohioans, more than 400 Ohioans every single day lose their health insurance. Every day, millions of Americans delay seeing a doctor despite the need that they have, or they cut their prescription pills in half to save money just so that they can go forward. Millions more live each day in fear that their health insecurity will undermine their already tenuous financial security. We're the wealthiest country in the world. As we know, we're the most prosperous nation on earth. But we have a healthcare system that discriminates based on gender and age and that perpetuates unconscionable racial disparities. Despite spending more on healthcare, as you know, than any other nation on earth, almost by a factor of 2, disparities among low-income, racial, and ethnic minorities persist with higher rates of disease, with fewer treatment options, with reduced access to care. Dr. King remarked, of all the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and the most inhumane. Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and the most inhumane. Along with my vote against the Iraq War 7 years ago, my vote to pass health reform next month will be my proudest moment as a public official representative. When our nation's at its best, our leaders comfort the afflicted. We reject the false comfort of you're on your own. We reject the false comfort of every person for themselves philosophy. That's why this evening is so important. As at our best, we strive to create a society, all of us together, that sees virtue in living the philosophy of common purpose and shared prosperity. That's why the diversity of this evening, the belief, the activism of all of you, the belief in social and economic justice that probably everybody in this room shares are also important. It's why we look to everyday heroes in our community, teachers and parents, preachers and neighbors, to people like my mom, who say we can do things better in a group, that we can all work for, as Rabbi Heschel said, a mankind that will live by justice and compassion.